Hey, this is a really long guide on all the controls for the new dinosaurs and some of the changes that we've had. Tips and tricks along the way, of course. So use the chapters to get where you need to go. And that's about it for the intro. You know, same as usual, come follow us on Twitch. Links in the description below. That's where all the real magic happens. You know what I'm saying? And if you get stuff out of the video, please like, subscribe. We always come out with dinosaur content. You know what it is. We're doing dino science all the time, all the new updates, figuring out the best ways to play the game and be efficient and survive. So hope you enjoyed the video. We'll see you at the end. That's it for the intro. Get on with it. Woo! The Pteranodon controls, you've got spacebar, holding it until you lift up in the air and you will gain flight. Now, while you're flying, if you use your mouse and hold W, you can control the angle of your glide. If you are going up and gaining altitude, it will drain stam, as you can see. Or you can use spacebar to more rapidly increase in height, or you can use control to aim downwards. Now, while you are gliding, you do have free look camera. It's almost like using alt look on any other class. Now, as we go back into the Thunderdome here, you'll see I'm using shift, which is sprint. So you will fly faster in the air. And then you can hold Z to slow down. Oh, that's awkward. You can hold Z to slow down. And you can also push control to go straight down as well. Now, if you're slowed down like this and you let go of Z, you will fall. So be very, very careful of that. Once you've dedicated enough time to slowing down with Z and you let go of it, you will fall out of the air. So make sure you have enough stamina to resume your flight afterwards. Like so, I will show you. For example, if you crash into a wall or something, or a tree, you can push spacebar to regain flight if you have stamina. And that's the same way with holding Z and losing your flight. Now, as far as attacking goes, we'll go over that really quickly. So, Pteranodon hitbox is a little funky in the air, but we'll show you here kind of how the hitbox works. So you can bite below you like that, and you'll hit your target. See how that works? And you can basically bite anything like that in the air. And that's kind of where the hitbox lies, is right underneath the Pteranodon. Now we're going to heal Colin real quick because we're using him as our test dummy. So you have on the ground, you have your left click, and you also have alt bite. So you hold alt and left mouse button, and that actually does more damage. So if I hit him with the regular left mouse button, it's 3 hits to kill on the head. If I hit him with the alt bite, it's 2. So then he'll flop over. So the alt bite is actually really good on the ground versus other pteranodons and juvies and things of that nature. And I do believe that is about it for the Pteranodon. Oh, except for the fishing. Let's go over the fishing real quick. So when you're trying to get food on a Pteranodon, probably your main course is going to be fish. And what you want to do is fly over the waterways, and you'll find these ripples in the water, like so, right here. And then what you do is get nice and close to the water, kind of skim over top of it, hold right mouse button, and then your Pteranodon will kind of put its mouth open in the water like that. And what you want to do is just kind of like tap spacebar every once in a while to keep yourself from falling into the water. And then you will see a tooltip once you are ready to catch a fish. Once you see the tooltip, you release right mouse button, and then you will have a fish in your mouth. From there, you'll need to land and eat it. Now, do be careful, because crocs can hold Q and create those bubbles, and it can fool you, right? And a croc can grab you while you are trying to catch fish with that right mouse button. They can lunge you out of the air and take you down. You probably won't interact with that too much, but it is just a good thing to note. If you see fish in like a weird area, you know, right up next to the bank or something like that, because a croc isn't really going to be able to lunge you in the middle of the water where these fish are. But if the ripples were somewhere over closer to the bank, you might say to yourself, okay, that might be a croc. But, you know, 45-minute grow time or whatever, very short grow time, not a big deal. But that's about it for Pteranadon, ladies and gentlemen. And we're going to move on to the next one. All right, this is one of the new playables, the Deinosuchus. Okay, so we got a full-grown Deinosuchus here. Going to show you the controls. So, left click, you got your typical bite. And you can notice the pacing on this bite, the timing of the attack, right? A little bit slow. If you alt attack, it is a faster attack speed. So, much more optimal if you want to chompa things, right? The alt attack also is 360, but you do have a slower attack speed if you're, you know, going to the rear or the sides. If you're facing forward, you have the fastest attack speed out of any like primary bite. But remember, this is not really your primary mode of taking other creatures down. You are a croc. You are an ambush predator. So you left control to go down into the water, space, go up. Now, the regular lunge is having your feet planted on the riverbed, okay? And then you right mouse button out of the water, which gives you a little bit of extra distance. Then you take your target in and you bring them under and you drown them, okay? So how the weight factor comes into this is a Deino can lunge anything under half of its weight. So this Stego has been grown to 0.75, so 75%, it's about 3.7 tons. Anything above the over half of the Deino's weight, you cannot pounce or lunge, sorry, anymore. So Carnos, Tenos, up to about 80% Stegos, you can grab them and drag them in, and especially Utahs too. Now, another thing with the right mouse button for Deino is used to be the right mouse button was just a speed boost. Now it acts as a grab as well. So Colin, can you go ahead and go out into the river, please? So you'll notice with my feet not on the riverbed, if I right mouse button the raptor here, boom, snag, bring them under. So now you can do the lunge, you know, in the middle, just regular swimming, if you're going to be grabbing things that are swimming across the water, and drown them, of course. So we won't drown Colin because he's a nice guy, and we'll let him swim off. But that is about it for Deino, except a few more things actually. The Q, okay. So if you hold yourself under the water and you hold Q, you will make bubbles that kind of mimic a fish school, like so. So you can bait pteranodons and lunge them out of the water like that, because you kind of do get some air. But another thing that the Q does is it extends the range of your sonar. So if something's swimming in the water, you will see blue bloop. Colin, could you come swim in the water again just for a moment? Or whoever is near. So you see the blue blip. That is a sign that motion or something is drinking at the water or moving through. And holding Q under the water extends that range. And honestly, that is about it for the Deinosuchus in terms of just basic controls. And yeah, shift. It makes you swim faster, right? You'll also gain stamina just being in the water on the riverbed. You have quite a lot of O2 to mess with here, and we'll show you that just in a second, how you can actually check your O2. You know, you push enter and you can scroll over and actually see your percentage of oxygen that you have. And honestly, that is about it for Deino, and we're going to move on to the next one. All right, so now on to the controls for our favorite uwu, the Utah Raptor. Okay, so we got left click, it's bite, directional. Now, this does more damage. The alt bite, right? Okay, so I'm just standing still. It dashes me in the direction my cursor is pointing, right? It has a wider hit range. It does more damage, probably does more bleed. Haven't tested that really because that's going to take a little bit more time. But that is the Uwu. Now, the special ability is the Pounce. So if I pounce a Utah Raptor, and by the way, aiming pounce, I like to use my head. It's not an FPS, right? You don't use the center of your screen. Look at the center of the screen right now. The Utah's like right there. I can't see anything. Use your head, right? You'll pounce, you'll land it. Easy. You hold right mouse button, it drains stam. If it's something like a Utah or smaller, it will pin them to the ground. And honestly, if this Utah gets up from a full pounce from a Utah Raptor, it will bleed out if it's starting to run around and whatnot. And it is pretty much one shot after you use a full bar of stam. So that's just a nice little note for the Utah versus Utah. Not important for this video, but just a little tip. Now, for pouncing something bigger that you don't pin to the ground, like a Carno or something like that, you'll right-click on it, you'll pounce and hold on. Now, a couple of things that we will get into in probably after this, after we do the actual controls, is bucking. But for now, that is pretty much Utah controls, right? And so a little bit more on movement, okay? So the way I like to bait attacks is I hold shift, I sprint, I strafe to the right or the left, and I use a quick W input to make myself do a little slide, right? And so do a little slide, and you can bait out attacks that way, and or you can do it, you know, the scope OG style. And you know, if you're in front of a Stego, you kind of just walk in front of it and stay right out of its attack range, bait a hit in, and then go in and bite. But yes, your alt attack is going to do more damage, and you can use it to the front if you are running through, and then quickly start running again. So we're gonna heal ourselves, and we're gonna show you how long Pounce lasts without the opponent bucking. So as you can see, it lasts quite a long time. It does a lot of bleed damage. This Carno is going to be pretty suffering badly from bleed, and you know, we're gonna get into bleed later. This is just a normal controls guide and things like that, but just a tip. So when we're doing this, I'm gonna have Nin buck. Nin, can you buck for me, please, next time I pounce? So when I buck this time on Nin's Carno, she is going to buck, and you will see a rapid drain in my stamina. Okay? So she's gonna buck. Watch how quickly the stamina drains. If I do not dismount before that happens, I get this nice lengthy stun animation where I am going to probably be on the reselect screen very quickly. You do want to dismount before that happens. Now, another thing with Pounce is dismounting, right? So watch this. I dismount, and I kind of have a little bit of lag there. It's very weird to time your sprinting to start and the dismount. So you dismount, you wait till the land animation finishes, and then you run. If you're holding shift before the land animation, you will literally just sit there and walk and do nothing, and that will get you killed. So I'm holding shift right now as I land. I'm still holding shift, and I'm not running, I'm just walking, right? So you have to wait till the land animation finishes and then push sprint, and then you will start running. It is a very little tricky thing that will get you killed if you do not execute it properly. Another thing with Pounce. So Nin's gonna run me up on the tree, and you'll see, knocks me off. I didn't get the stun animation for some reason that time, and I've noticed that happening a lot. All right, we're gonna try that one more time. Pounce. And it didn't work. Try again. There we go. There we got the stun animation, and I'm stuck there, and Nin can kill me. And the last thing with Pounce, and probably the most important, is do not miss. Do not miss. Do not miss. Because you'll be stuck in this animation, and I cannot move for like literally almost a second, which leaves you very open to Utah's pouncing you. which will kill you. Carno's coming to bite you, which will kill you. So be very careful with Utah, okay? Very fun, very quick grow, very agile character, requires a lot of practice and a lot of patience. You know, you need to be quick yet patient when hunting with the Utah, because it is very squishy, and if you make mistakes, you will be sent back to the reselect screen quicker than, I don't know, some cool metaphor. You can be hit in the air while you are pouncing, so be very careful, and I'm going to demonstrate this for you, me dying in the air while I'm pouncing. 3, 2, 1. Yep, there it is. That's a Thagomizer. So if they preemptively strike before you pounce, you will be sent to the reselect screen. So, and that is it for Utah, I promise. All right, so everybody's favorite long-legged carnivore, Champa Carnotaurus. So, Carno's, I don't know, I like to think about playing as like a bigger Utah with really fast Champa attack speed. Now, your special ability with this is the charge, and what you want to do is you want to get max speed like this, and you will hold right mouse button. Let's see this Utah right here. He's like a little bowling pin. I'm going to knock him right over. Bam, he's on the ground. And then I'm going to chompa him. He's dead. That's really only useful if you can catch him off guard. Most Utahs, if they know you're there, they're going to be dodging you, right? So now we're going to show the stun duration against a Tenonto. So something about the same size as a Carno. So we're gonna right mouse button charge, and you'll see the stun duration knocks them over flat on their back, and then she keeps walking, right? So it's about a 1.5 second, 2 second stun, something like that. So Champa, really fast, kill things, right? Alt attack. You have an alt attack as a Carno. It doesn't do any more damage, but it can swing and hit behind you, things like that. So it's mostly for attacking things that are, you know, small things, attacking your feet and your shins, little ankle biters mostly. But you know, you have a bit faster attack speed, I do believe, on the left mouse button just normally. And honestly, that's about it on the Carno. For movement wise, you can kind of think of this as a big Utah. So how I described strafing left to right and doing a quick W input to do that kind of slide and bait out attacks. You can do that with the Carno and continue your momentum strafing side to side. So if you want to fight Stegos or anything like that, that is a useful tactic to bait attacks out. But other than that, I recommend managing your stamina well as a Carno, because Tenontos can run you down. And that's really about it. The charge uses a lot more stamina now, so you need to manage your stamina well with that. And if you look in the bottom right hand corner, that is the cooldown, the little red bar. That's your cooldown on the charge. So that's really it for Carno. Quite simple. A little bit of a lengthier grow time compared to the Utah, but quite simple. Very good dinosaur to start on. And that's it. We're going to move to the next one. So now Tenonto, my probably favorite herbivore and best underdog. Okay, so left mouse button, you have your bite. It's really good for chasing after things, getting some damage on it, or, you know, just in general. It does really good work, especially against Utahs, right? Then you have your alt left mouse button, which is your claw attack, kind of similar to basically everything else's alt attack. This attack does do bleed and 360 rotation. Pretty quick attack speed if you're just going to the front. Now, your kick. That's the kicker right there. You see what I did there? All right, I'm gonna show you kicking this Utah 360 no scope Tokyo drift, kicking it down on the ground like that. So you can kick and turn to aim it and land it where you want it to be. So with the kick, you get about 22 or so kicks worth of stamina. Now for the tail slam, you only have at full stam, you only have 10 tail slams worth of stamina. So when you're using the tail slam, you have to be much more cognizant of your stamina management. And the tail slam is holding Alt and right mouse button, and you have it aimable to the far reaches to the left. And as you see, I just hit the tip of the tail. It did not knock the Utah over there, so you have to watch for that. And it's the same thing with the Carno. Tip of the tail will not stun the Carno. Now, when I slam the Utah with the tail right here, boom, knocked over. That's easy kill. You know, line up a kick or another tail slam. Easy, easy. Now we'll have the Carno Z-Walk, please. Now we'll show you the stun duration on the Carno when I kick. So we're gonna boom, and that's the stun duration. You can see that I can also bite during that period of time, so be careful when positioning yourself and landing a stun on the Carno, because if you put yourself in front of its mouth and stun it, it can still bite you. And that's actually also a tip for the Carno players. Yep, keep Z walking, please. Now we're going to show the tail slam. The stun duration there, and you'll see when it starts walking, that is the complete stun duration. Now, there is a bit of a cooldown on how often you can stun a target, and we'll show you that here. So, we stun the Carno, right? Yep. So it's stunned, and then it starts walking. And we hit it again, and it keeps walking. There's a little bit of a delay between how often you can stun your target. And that is for things within the weight range of, 1.6 kilograms. So the Carno's 1.8, tons. So you can expect to be stunning things at that size, probably, or lower. You can use it on Stegos, but, I'm not calculating the percentage growth of Stego you need to be able to stun it. It's kind of ridiculous. Although, side note, tip, Tenonto is actually kind of OP against Stegos with the tail slam. If the Stego takes, gives the Tenonto a tail hit, the Tenonto trades a tail hit for a headshot with a tail slam, and it's disgusting. Anyways, so that's basically it for Tenonto. Your kick does do bleed damage, so do mind that. That's important. And your claw attack does bleed damage. Your bite does not, and your tail slam does not. But get out there and have some fun with Teno. Like I said before, super underdog playable character right now, and is honestly probably one of the best playable characters right now. It is honestly probably one of the best. It can chase Carnos down. You'll outstam them. If you are patient and play well against Utahs, you will destroy Utahs, okay? Especially using this alt claw attack. So just a little tips and tricks with that. And, if you're daring enough, you catch a land croc. That land croc is not going to have a good time. So that's Teno. Seriously, give Teno a try. I know a lot of people are like, "Oh, herbivores, blah blah blah." Go try Teno. You won't regret it. It's one of the funnest playable characters in this game. So that's it for Teno, and we're gonna move on to the last one, Stego. All right, so this is a Stegosaurus, big chonker donker. Okay, so most important thing about the Stego, right, is the attack speed when you're using your tail swipe. So, you can 360 degree hit with the tail swipe, okay? So you can hit to the front, you can hit to the rear, and you can hit to the side, which is probably the most important factor. So watch this, the attack speed to the rear, or to the side, sorry, versus the attack speed to the front. Much slower to the front and the back. Very important when you are playing Stego to utilize this. For 1, damage. For 2, baits. Okay? So, for 1, damage. Attack speed equals damage, right? The faster you attack with this tail slam, whatever thing it is, the more damage you do. Secondly, if you are baiting with it, say you're surrounded by... Oh God, what are they doing over there? Say you're surrounded by all these role players over here. You want to bait them with a nice quick attack speed, 90 degree, and then wham! Hit them with that front attack when they come through at that angle. And that's about it on the tail swing, and that just requires a little bit of practice and patience, right? Patience. Patience is everything with this game, as you will quickly learn. Stamina management, you have about 22 tail swings in total from 100% stam. So we'll just go ahead and heal ourselves real quick. Now the left click is the bite attack, of course. It has the same amount of bite force as a Utah. So, you know, if you're trying to kill, you know, a juvenile or a Pteranadon, you know, just bite it. If you can bite something, might as well bite it if it's a Utah or something like that. But you do want to prioritize the tail swing. And honestly, that is about it on Stego controls. So now we're going to go over bucking, and this is kind of a unique interaction with the Utah and basically any other playable character in the game. And I'm just using Stego to give a better example of the parameters with bucking and pounce and things like that. So basically, with pounce and bucking, right? So a Utah pounces your character, right? And you hold E. It will drain the Utah's stamina incredibly quickly, like we saw earlier, right? Showing you Utah pounce on the Carno. Now, the thing with bucking is it does drain the pouncees. So the Stego getting pounced by the Utah, it drains the Stego's stamina as well. And that is dependent also upon how many Utahs are pouncing. So if one Utah is pouncing, it drains less stamina bucking than with 4 Utahs pouncing. So can I get a 1 Utah to pounce me, please? All right, we're gonna get the Utah to pounce. Sorry, we've been trying to record this and they've been missing. All right, go ahead, pounce, please. So we're gonna buck, and you'll see that my stamina is in fact draining. And by the time the Utah falls off, I'll show you the percentage about what it uses. So it uses about 5% of stamina. Now, if I could get 4 Utahs, 2 on each side, please. All right, 3, 2, 1, pounce. Now we're gonna buck, and you will see it uses a considerable more amount of stamina by the time all the Utahs fall off. Now we have 71% stamina left, so we effectively just used 29% of our stamina bar, which comes a lot into play later when we start to talk about bleed and that stuff. But we'll get into that into another video when we mainly focus on bleed. But this is about bucking right now and how to get Utahs off. So that is really all there is to bucking. It's very effective as the pouncey. So when you do get pounced, you do want to initiate that buck very quickly. And we'll show you some other stuff real quick. Can I get someone to pounce me real quick? Thank you. So I'm bucking, and I can tail swing at the same time while I'm bucking. Okay? So it's going to fall off. It's going to run out of stam if it happens to stay on. And that will give me a good opportunity to hit it. But it can act as a good bait for you. So if someone is bucking, or sorry, so if someone is pouncing you and you are bucking, you can look for other opportunities. Say someone is pouncing you, you're bucking, another Utah thinks he's going to be cheeky, come in for a bite. You can then land a hit, tail swing, take him out. Pretty easy peasy. But that is bucking. Everything can do it. Carnos, Stegos, Utahs. Now, bucking duration, right, depends on the character. Go ahead. So I'm holding E, and I do about 3 bucks, and then I stop, right? So I have to reinitiate that buck holding E. Now, Stego, you probably won't really have to reinitiate it. It lasts for a longer duration than the Tenonto, but if you are a Tenonto, you do need to reinitiate that bucking input after those 3 kicks. So that is something you have to be aware of when playing as these different characters. All right, I'm gonna do this time. Are you ready? That's how you do it right there. You fake to the right and you swing to the left and catch him on this. That guy's so pissed. That guy is so pissed. See what I did?